Vidhammer Fantasy.
Greetings again from Vidhammer. I'm Spudlow, and this battle report is the third round matchup at the tournament held at Darkside Comics late last year. This is the third round where I play the High Elves Teclis list at 2,250 points. If you want to check out the first round against the Ogres, that's here, and the second round against the Orcs and Goblins will be right below it. This time I'm going up against Lucas playing the Skaven, an army that I'm familiar with, and an opponent that I've played a few times before and always had fun. Here's the third round matchup for High Elves. Check it out.
As we set up, Lucas wins the roll for board edge and chooses the left side, probably to allow more shooting potential with his cannons, and I'm fine with that because I wanted the right side to give me cover that I could use against those very same cannons. Nothing too fancy for my end of deployment. I deploy mostly behind the buildings, intending to go in and out the other side. I could have put the archers into the tall building towards the middle, but I think the lingering effects of Teclis' death in the first round maybe put him behind the meat wall again. The only thing different that I do in this round is put the white lions on top, so they can turn in on the flank if he offers it to me. The only thing this really does is make it far less worrisome when he puts down his hell pit. He's also got a warp fire thrower and some gutter runners that come in later on, but I'm not too worried about those. All I really want to do is try to kill the general. I've played Skaven a few too many times to be thinking anything else at this point. It's worth noting for his 3 bus formation blocks that the middle one is clan rats and the ones on either sides are actually the slaves. The gutter runners come down in front of the building so they don't get shot, keeping them out of harm's way. Other startup stuff, he ends up with 2 warpstone tokens, and for magic generation, his plague priest gets plague and pestilent breath, not the best for me, and his gray seer goes all his dice into the spells of ruin, getting Howling Warp Gale, Scorch, Crack's Call, and the dreaded 13th. Probably Crack's Call for buildings. On to first turn movement. I win the first turn roll after a couple of ties and start moving my stuff up into the buildings. Going into the magic phase, we end up with 12 versus 6. I use the first 4 dice for Enfeebling Foe on the Plague Monks. I don't get Irresistible Force, but he chooses not to dispel this, trying to wait for others. Ends up giving them -1 to Strength. But pay attention to the rest of the magic phases from here on out. I use the next 4 dice for Withering on the Plague Monks, and get Irresistible Force, giving them -2 to Toughness. And then my last 4 dice, I go for Pit of Shades on the monks, with Irresistible Force again, getting a direct hit and killing off 16. It's pretty nasty. There's no shooting because I've marched to no combat, so we head over to his turn, where the A-bomb closes in, and the other units start to move up as well. His magic phase ends up 2 versus 2. This is a real ouch moment. But he eats 2 warpstone tokens, and goes for a Crack's Call. Knowing that he's going to try and take down a building and force an initiative test, I go ahead and use Teclis' Dispel Scroll, which eliminates the spell and gets it out of the way. On to his shooting, he caps off his Doom Rocket at the White Lions for 11 wounds. It's already not looking too great for me. I know his shooting's pretty powerful. Then he goes for the Warp Lightning Cannons after that. The first one just sticks into the ground. The second one gets 1 more kill on the White Lions. Then the gutter runners go ahead and fire at them as well, picking off 3 more. White lions end up having to take a panic check, which they pass, but still, this is a pretty nasty hit for the first round of shooting. I'm not quaking in my boots yet, but I'm wiping a little bit of sweat off. There's no combat on this round, so we head on into High Elves for turn 2. The White Lions go ahead and charge the Hell Pit. I want to get them into combat as quick as I can. Both Spearman units come out of the buildings as the Archers go ahead and move in. Yeah, get him out there. You know what you're doing. Magic ends up 12 versus 6 again. 6 for Penumbral Pendulum. I get Irresistible down the Clan Rats line, end up taking out 9 of them. And then I use the last 6 for another shot of Occam's Mind Razor on the White Lions. Or not another shot, this was my first shot of this, but I keep doing this over and over again. I watched the video a few too many times. Always good to have a cannon against bus units. Over in shooting, the archers take out the Warped Fire Thrower. It's not the greatest move, but it's a guaranteed little chunk of points, and I just want to try to get things on the board. Over in combat, the White Lions pass their terror test, and they're able to take out 11 wounds in the opposing unit, or to kill off the Hell Pit Abomination. And then I overrun into the Plague Monks. The Hell Pit Abomination doesn't pop back up again, but it does poop out 3 little rat swarms. Poop! On to movement phase. For Skaven, Rat Swarms, Gutter Runners, and Rat Swarms and Gutter Runners charge me in the rear and the side. Upper Slaves charge the Spearman's flank, and everyone makes their distances. It's nice when you can make those stuff. Magic is 6 versus 7, and he uses all his dice to dispel Enfeebling and Withering. Then flies into shooting. All of the lower Spearmen. Jezzail's kill 2. First cannon kills 11. And the second overloads, but it shoots off of the table. On our way into combat, the first one against the slaves, the spearmen kill 1 slave, slaves kill 1 spearman. I lose the combat, but I pass the break test and even manage to reform amid defeat to 7 wide formation, so Teclis can still be outside of base contact. It's the only thing I want to do is keep him out of there. Then over onto the upper combat, he uses the Plague Banner and issues a challenge with the Plague Priest. So I accept with my unit champion, just figuring he'll, kind of get wiped out or whatever. But he manages to get 2 wounds off of his attacks and kill off the character. This guy immediately gets promoted to elite status, and he's still not done yet. He does some great stuff later on. The remaining White Lions take out 8, thanks to some awesome rolling of 1s by me. Should have been more, but oh well. Then 2 wounds on the butt rat swarms. The monks hit me for 8 wounds with that banner, and then the gutter runners get 3 more, but the swarms don't get any. I lose the combat, but I managed to pass the break test, which turned in really handy. Those White Lions saved me on this one. That unit held quite well despite everything throughout the course of the day. Except for the first game, but we don't talk about that. Going into turn 3, the spearmen charge the slaves, and I line up so that I can try to overrun into the Jezzails if I get through this. Then in Magic, 10 versus 5, 6 for Occam's Mind Razor on the central spearmen, irresistible. 4 for Enfeebling Foe on the upper slaves, irresistible again, -1 strength. In shooting, I have the archers shoot toward the Jezzails. I kill off 2 of them, and they fail their panic test and run. That's good for me. I mean, I know they're not a threat, but I still want to try to mess with them as much as I can. Lower combat, the spearmen do 8 wounds. The slaves hit for 4 pretty well, and pass their steadfast break test. We end up walking away for something, for food, or there was a busty chick in the store. Who knows what it is. But looking at the all-round state of the board, although the White Lions are in a tough spot, the rest looks pretty good. A big part of the battle is that Lucas rolled really bad for his magic almost every round of this game. And I ended up rolling very high and even getting some extras thanks to the banners and stuff. But that's a big turning point for this battle, for this entire engagement, was really magic based. Going into the middle combat, I kill a bunch of slaves. We don't even bother taking them off. I lose 2 spearmen, The saves explode and take out 3 more along with 2 monks and 4 clan rats. Good job, guys. I go ahead and reform to horde formation, hoping to get some more attacks off in future rounds. For our upper combat, my champion issues a challenge, and his champion accepts and gets killed. Chalk up another one for the Uber champion. That guy was just badass. The remaining lions take out 5 monks. I put 2 more on the rat swarms, and I lose 2 to the monks, 2 to the gunner runners, and 2 to the rat swarms. I win the combat this time, but just by a bit, and the swarms take a wound from trampling as the others pass their break tests. And that unit's still in there and still kicking. Still got my champion being Mr. Billy Badass up front. But I know it's not gonna last forever. And with them dwindling, with the big hit from the ranged attacks in that first round, I'm at the point now where even though I know how powerful that unit is, if I can get the buffs on it, it can be really nice. There just aren't enough models left for it to be as effective as it needs to be. If I could pull back those 11, 12 wounds, it'd be awesome. Over to Skaven. Elves rally as their only movement. Magic is 4 to 6. He goes for Scorch, but it gets dispelled. Shooting both cannons for the unengaged spearmen, but both of them fall short. Over to combat. White Lions kill off 4 monks, and they die to the last, even the epic champion. See ya, buddy. You were awesome. They'll write stories about you, but you won't get to hear them because, well, you're dead. Lower combat. Spearmen hit slaves for 8, who hit back for 2, and then they pass their break test. I go ahead and reform the unit, hoping to eventually take away their steadfast. Then on to turn 4. Only movement, I charge the clan rats. Magic is 9 versus 6. 6 for Occam's Mind Raids on the upper spearman, and then 3 for Enfeebling, which he finally gets a chance to dispel, and he does it. Archers finish off the last 2 plague monks and get the unit kill. Yay! Then combat. Upper combat, he issues a challenge, which I promptly refuse to get Teclis the crap out of there. The spearmen aim as many attacks as I can back at the Grey Seer and the BSB, and are able to take out both of those characters, along with about 6 clan rats, and then I end up losing 4 spearmen in the process. They're steadfast and they pass their break test, but it's really the characters that I was worried about, that I was aiming for. They're far more valuable than the unit is at that point. Lower combat, the spearmen kill 8 slaves, and I don't lose any. They're still steadfast, but with the general dead, they still have a leadership of 2, so even though it's a steadfast break test, they still fail it and explode, taking out 3 from the lower and 1 from the upper spearman units. At this point, Lucas didn't feel he was going to be able to recoup the losses of the points that died on that turn, so he went ahead and called the game. And that's it for the 3rd and final round. Hope you liked the battle report. Check back for more videos each week. Do us a favor and subscribe, and like the video if you want to see more. Till next time, this is Spudlow. Keep fighting.
There was no bonus video last week, so for this week,